Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk all about how to get your budget started. So let's go. Okay, have you ever had a budget? Ever wonder where all your money has gone? I've been there. I know all about how that feels, and it can be really, really frustrating. Let's learn all about how to start your budget the right way and the easy way. Let's get started. Okay, here is the basic breakdown. You assess your income, then you take a peek at your spending, then you determine what can stay and what can go. Then you're going to go through and you're going to list all of your bills, all of your day-to-day bills, but we'll get into that in just a moment. You're going to plan your goals, create your cash envelopes, and then the best part, start using your budget and telling your money where you want it to go. So let's talk about the first part. The first step is how much money is coming in. The first part should be very straightforward. You look at what you're making, you write it down. If your paycheck varies between paycheck to paycheck, then what you need to do is add up an average. So, for example, if you're paid weekly and you have 4 checks from the past month and you take all of them, you add them all up, and then you divide by 4 because there were 4 paychecks that you added up. That would be your average amount that you would budget by. Then what you do is once you have figured out what that average is on the paychecks where you get more, you decide where that extra money is going to go that's above that number. So for example's sake, what I would suggest if your paycheck varies is to take a look at your last 3 months of checks, 6 months of checks, or if you only have a month, then your last month worth of checks. So let's go with the month worth. Say that you're paid weekly. So you have 4 checks from the last month, and let's say one is $540, one is $320, one is $475, and one is $650. So you have a varying range of paychecks here. What you do is you take all of those, add them up, and divide by 4, the number of checks that you've just added up. That will give you your average. So once we add all of those up, you get $19.85 for a month's income. You divide it by 4, and that will give you your average, which is $496 and some cents. So what you do, that is your average check amount. What you do is you use that to budget. Then, once you have that, any check that has more than that amount, that is when you would then decide how you're going to allocate that money. So if you know the next check's probably going to be lower, then what you do is you accommodate that. You say, okay, well, this check is $200 more than my $496. Then you figure out which bills that money needs to go to so that the next week you'll be okay. So that's kind of how you have to do it if you have a variable amount. If you have the same amount roughly every week, that's going to be a lot easier because then you can simply know how much you make, know how much your bills are, and then you're going to decide what to do with that difference between your bills and the top amount of money you have. Now we move on to the next part. I know we don't always want to, we really don't want to, but we have to. We have to look, how much are you spending? Now, initially, this might be a little frustrating, but it's okay because knowledge is power. And if you know how much you're spending, you can decide what and where you want your money to be going to. Instead of looking at it from a negative perspective and looking at it like you're going to have to be restrained, instead you say, okay, maybe your priority is eating out because maybe you don't like to cook. That's okay. That's why it's so beautiful when you create your own budget, because the budget is for you, not for anybody else or anybody else's standards. They're for you. So if you know that you really like to eat out, then make that a priority. Then say, I'm not going to buy this cute shirt at Target because I like to eat out, and that is where I'm going to put my money. And vice versa. If you like to cook, but you just don't always have time, maybe you plan a way to make meals ahead so that you can buy that shirt at Target. It's just prioritizing. That's really all a budget is prioritizing your money and telling your money where to go and why. And then you put it there. That's it. That's what I love. Once I discovered budgeting, that's what I love the most about it, is that it's actually the opposite of what most people think. Most people think of a budget and they think of restriction. When I think of a budget now, I think of a budget as power. You are making your money work for you, not the other way around. You're not restricting yourself. You are simply saying, this is where I want to spend my money. And this is where I want to spend this, and this is what I want to accomplish, and this is how I'm going to get there. It's really just a big money plan. That's all a budget is. So back to what we were saying. So the next step is, how much are you spending? It should be pretty simple. If you're spending cash, look through your receipts. If you're spending cards, look through your bank statements. Simply go through them really quickly, and you really need to mainly focus on these four main sections: eating out, shopping, entertainment, other. Those are really the main ones you want to look at, because those are where we're going to have some flexibility on what you're changing and what you're getting rid of, because bills are mostly stable. You can't really usually cut out a lot of bills. So those would be the main things I'd focus on when I'm looking at my spending. Where is all my money going? The next part is, should it stay or should it go? So you need to look at all those spending examples that I just said. Look at yours and say what can stay and what needs to go. If you notice that you're spending a certain amount of money here all the time, but it's really not necessary, then maybe that needs to go. Maybe you have Amazon Prime, but you never use it. Maybe that needs to go. All these little things add up. Even if it's only $5 or $3, when you look at a month's worth of spending, that really adds up fast. That could be $200 that you're putting towards a different goal. So you will be absolutely amazed once you really look at this and get it set up, how much money you have. You just realize, wow, I have more money than I thought I had. Now that you've learned the basics on how to start your budget, it's time to put all that planning into action. Take control of your money and get yourself straight. I'm so excited. Take charge of your money. Start telling your money where to go and what to do. Well, I hope this gave you some inspiration to jumpstart your budget. Hey, thank you for watching. Bye.